Hello everyone, I just wanted to take a few minutes to stop in and just talk for a minute. You know, on the weekends I like to do the coffee clutch, but today I'm having a little late afternoon coffee, but I wanted to share a story that I heard about, true story about someone that had been posted 6 days ago on LinkedIn. Turns out he's a friend of a friend, and so we have this interconnection, and that's how I heard about his story. His name is Trey. And he currently works like at a coffee house. And this is about a letter that he wrote to someone from his college experience. So, if you need to push pause, but I wanted to share with you this letter that he wrote, and hopefully you'll see the profound impact that the letter had on me, and maybe you'll have the same experience. Now, did you get your coffee or juice or whatever? Okay, here we go. And I hope that the music isn't too loud. Listening to some Windam piano. Awesome music that's just very good for relaxing and contemplating different things. Okay, so here's his letter. To my junior year advisor, I was diagnosed with cancer 3 weeks into my freshman year. And instead of thinking about study group or joining clubs, I was talking to doctors and getting chemo. I was in and out of the hospital for over 3 years. And this is Trey's story himself. Later, when I finally met with you to talk about majoring in computer science, you told me to give up. You told me how these majors were based in cohorts, and because I was a junior, I wouldn't get in. I remember just nodding to your words, then afterwards crying. I remember feeling so insignificant because I took 3 years to get through the math series. I didn't tell you how hard cancer was, or how I had to relearn how to walk twice, and had 8 surgeries, all before I turned 20. I remember almost giving up. But I had one other advisor in my corner. She told me to write about it in my personal statement and tell them your story and give them a reason why you deserve a spot. I graduated today from the Allen School with a BS in computer science. It took me 5 years to graduate, which was one more than I intended, but I'm finally here. Being a student with a disability was hard, but I learned so much from the adversity. We disabled students may take a while to cross the finish line, but given a chance, we will exceed all expectations you set. That is Trey's story. Really, really awesome. You know, I know his advisor, and I sent the message to him through his advisor of how amazing this was, that he worked so hard. Not the negative advisor at first that was telling them to just give up. Because you're always going to have somebody negative in your corner telling you all kinds of negative stuff. But what do you want to live? You want to live with all that negative energy and all that anger and that angst, with your stomach hurting and having headaches and not being able to sleep at night? Or do you want to just take it one step at a time, one day at a time? Because the race isn't given to the swift. You don't have to be the fastest or the prettiest or the smartest or the best. Do your best. And in due season, you will reap your reward. I'm so glad that he didn't listen to the negative message and that he did have someone positive in his corner so that he could follow that positive message, because that is what we all need. We need someone positive in our corner, and we need to also be that positive person, because our words can hurt. You know, there's times when people cough and they're not covering their mouth, or they cough or they sneeze. And sometimes people will hear me say, you know, your germs kind of shoot out of you. And that's just not very healthy. Not good for those that are in the direction of where that's coming from. But the same way, our words, if we're not mindful about what we're saying, what we're doing, our words can shoot out of our mouth and we can really hurt people. Sometimes people hurt other people and they don't even realize that they've hurt the other person, because they're just so used to just going with the flow and saying whatever they feel. And sometimes they're doing it and intending for it to be in a joking manner, but they really can hurt other people. They used to say, sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But yeah, words actually do hurt. What if he gave up in the midst of the cancer, in the midst of the chemo? You know, all things are possible. We can't just have this lay down and give up attitude. We have to be persistent. It's just like having a little marble. If you have like a little marble or a tiny pebble, and suppose you've got a brick wall in front of you. You toss that marble at that brick wall, it's going to bounce off the wall and fall on the ground. You pick that marble up and you persistently bounce it against that wall over and over and over again. Eventually, you will see a change. Eventually, there will be a dent or a crack or some kind of a change. And one of the things that really impacted me about Trey's story is that I had some negative people in my past who told me that I'd never be anything, I'd never graduate from college. Now here I am with 10 years of college and 3 degrees. Not that that's the measure of who I am, but that if I would have listened to them, I would have given up and not even completed one. But I saw that God had more for me to do, and I just continued with it, and I trusted, and I had my faith, and I put in the work. Because of course, faith without works is dead. I put in the work. I had to study, I had to read, I had to do homework, I had to, go on police ride-alongs and all sorts of different things, because of the nature of my degree. It's so individualized and specialized. I'm just really thankful that Trey didn't give up. Yeah, he's a manager at a coffee shop right now. Great, he's got a job. But it's also great that he was persistent. He made it through chemo and major surgeries and learning how to walk all over again and having self-confidence and that support from a supportive counselor when he had someone else in the other corner telling him that he might as well give up because nobody would ever want him. Now, I can't wait to see how his life takes off from here. And even if he never did anything else other than continue to work at that coffee shop as a manager, he's already succeeded. Because he's overcome the adversity. He broke through the stereotype. And he showed that, yes, he was more than a conqueror. Well, I just wanted to share that brief story with you. I even printed it out off my LinkedIn page. It's just really, really awesome. If you see someone in need of a little support, or if they seem down on their luck, if they're struggling to get a job or trying to make decisions about what to do with their life, going to school, or single parenting, whatever it may be, try to give them a helpful word. Offer some encouragement, because encouragement goes a long way. I hope you have a great evening. It's my plan that this weekend, we'll do some cooking, get in the kitchen and do more cooking. Perhaps not dehydrating food. I'm not sure yet whether I want to do that or not, but we will do some different types of cooking, and we need to have some more garden time where you're actually with me out there, and you can see the different backyard vegetables and herbs that you can grow and you're able to eat, because backyard foraging is really productive and it's beneficial. So for tonight, just leave those thoughts with you on be positive, be an encourager. And if you need encouraging, first you can look in the mirror and tell yourself that you can do all things through Christ that gives you strength. Second, call someone, talk to someone, journal your feelings. Write your goals out on a piece of paper. Put them on the wall or on the side of a mirror somewhere, so that when you get up in the morning, you see those goals and you can start going down the list. Like once a month, go down the list. Have you accomplished any of those things? Focus on one thing. You don't have to focus on everything at once. Focus on one thing. That's how I got my bachelor's and my master's and my doctorate. I didn't think of all that at one time, because I would have never accomplished it if I had done that. But what I did was I focused on one thing at a time. And every time I would complete something, I would mark it off on that piece of paper. And once a month, I would rewrite out the paper, and the list got shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until I actually accomplished those things that I set out to do. And I'm very thankful to God for that, because I couldn't do it by myself. But with God and the support of a handful of people that care, it makes all the difference in the world. And your words can either harm, and your words might heal. But what they do depends on the choices that you make and your control over what comes out of your mouth. Have a good evening, and I look forward to seeing you again soon in the kitchen. So have your frying pans ready, and if you have an air fryer, you might want to get that ready too, because we're going to do a variety of things. Good night.